Hi, good morning. Nice to meet you. I'm your nutrition counselor, Marlene. You can call me Marlene.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, how would you like to be addressed today?
Erica.
Erica. Okay, you can have a seat. Is this okay for you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So today I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your eating patterns. And have you ever met with a nutrition counselor before?
I have not.
Okay. So I am a peer educator and I provide, so today I'm going to just provide you education on 3 topics: eating on a budget, reading a nutrition label, and eating a balanced diet. Do any of those topics interest you today?
Yes, I think I'd like to learn about eating a balanced diet.
Eating a balanced diet, okay. Now we'll keep that in mind. And then you can stop me at any time if you ever feel uncomfortable, or my peer will be reviewing me, and my professor, Dr. George, will be the only one that will have any of this information. And I need your verbal consent in order to begin, but I'm going to first read you this agreement. And thank you for your willingness to participate in the nutrition counseling clinic offered by Dr. George Nutrition Clinic. This interview is designed to provide an interviewing experience for nutrition counseling students. The objective is for students like me to work on the counseling skills, gather information about health problems, and learn something about your health issues while you're discussing your situations and how you can receive benefits by clarifying your health concerns, and possibly fundamentally a decision to make a behavior change for you. However, this experience is not designed as an intervention. After this meeting, I will be required to write a report about the findings, and this report will only be shared with my professor, Dr. George. If the information in the report may be shared with other students during the classroom, your name will not be mentioned at any time in the discussion and in any other respects. Thank you very much for your willingness to participate and help in the education of future counseling, nutrition counseling. If you have any questions or problems during the project, please contact my professor, Dr. George. Okay, so can I have your verbal consent to begin?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to start by asking you a few questions to get a better idea about your challenges and how they may exist in your eating patterns. So, what grade are you at SFSU?
I am currently a senior.
Okay. And then what is your housing situation?
I live off campus. I live at home.
Okay. And then, do you commute to school?
I commute to school. I have a long commute.
And would you say, more than 30 minutes by car, 30 minutes or less on public transportation, or more than 30 minutes on public transportation?
So it's public transportation is definitely more than 30 minutes.
More than 30 minutes. How long about?
It's about an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. Okay. And now I'm going to ask you some questions that are more food focused. How often do you buy snacks on campus, restaurants, or fast food?
I would say rarely.
Rarely. And is it mostly restaurants, fast food, campus?
Probably campus.
Campus. And then how often do you buy meals on a typical Monday through Friday at campus, restaurants, or fast food?
I would say like once a week on campus on my long days.
So by once a week.
So rarely?
Rarely. Rarely?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not every week.
And then how often do you typically buy meals on Saturday through Sunday?
Oh, that's probably a little bit more. I would say sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. And then it would be at restaurants or fast food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not fast food restaurants.
Not fast food.
No.
Okay. And then how often do you typically buy snacks on campus? Fast food or restaurant?
I think rarely.
Rarely. Mostly, where would you buy your snacks?
Campus.
Okay, campus. And then it's gonna take me a second to total up your answers. Okay. And then, okay, so now I'm gonna conduct your 24-hour recall.
Okay.
And we're gonna talk about all the foods, beverages, and snacks and nibbles that you had to eat yesterday, starting from the time that you woke up to the time you went to sleep. And we're gonna follow the 3-pass system, which is first I'm gonna ask you about a list of things that you ate yesterday, and I'm gonna ask them in detail, and then I will review it with you at the end. While you're providing these details, I want you to use these common objects here. I have measuring cups, I have the cups here, and so it can better help your memory and be more precise with the measurements.
Okay.
And then, does that sound okay for you?
It does.
Okay. So, what is the first item you had to eat yesterday?
Oh, let's see. I had a shake. Did I make it home?
Okay. And then, what does the shake have in
So
it?
it's a cup of almond milk.
Almond milk?
A banana. Oatmeal.
Okay.
Coconut oil. Turmeric. Cinnamon. Greek yogurt. I think yesterday it had melon too. Cantaloupe.
Melon.
Melon.
Okay. And then, so for your banana, can you say how big the banana was, or like at what size?
It was a large banana.
A large banana?
Yeah.
Okay. And then for your oatmeal, can you say about how much in measurements the oatmeal was?
It's a tablespoon. I always measure it out.
Always a tablespoon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then for the coconut oil, how much?
1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon. And then for your turmeric, do you remember about how
A
much?
1/4 teaspoon.
1/4 teaspoon.
As well as the ground cinnamon.
As well as this one. Okay. Okay, and then for your Greek yogurt, do you remember how much?
Tablespoon.
Tablespoon?
Mm-hmm.
And then for your melon, how much was it?
So my melon, I actually scooped up a couple of chunks. Let's see. I would say it's probably like 3/4 of a cup.
3/4 of a cup?
Mm-hmm.
And then, is this a usual day for you, or what do you typically have?
That's my everyday breakfast, unless I have no bananas at home, but that's typically what I eat.
Okay, typical day.
Yeah.
And then, where did this all happen? This was
at home.
At home. And about what time did you have this?
It's about 5:45 in the morning.
5:45 a.m. And then, typically, do you have anything to drink besides your shake?
I have my ginger tea.
Ginger tea. And then, where do you have your ginger tea? Is it?
My ginger tea I usually drink when I get here.
Okay.
So it's like about 7:30.
At 7:30 a.m.
Yes.
You have your ginger tea.
Yes.
Is there any other snacks, beverages, anything else you eat in the morning?
I forgot my shake usually has fresh ginger.
Fresh ginger.
And I would say that's probably like half a tablespoon.
Half a tablespoon. Okay, so now I'm gonna read everything that you told me to see if I got everything right. So at approximately 9:45 a.m., you at home, you make your shake with
5:45.
5:45.
Really early.
Really early. You have your shake with almond milk, about a cup. You have your banana, a large banana. You have your oatmeal, which is one tablespoon. And then you have your coconut oil, which is 1 tablespoon as well. Your turmeric, which is 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then your cinnamon, your ground cinnamon, is 1/4 of a teaspoon as well. And your Greek yogurt is about a tablespoon as well. And your melon is 3/4 of a cup. And the last thing you added was fresh ginger, and that's 1/4 of a tablespoon, right?
Yes.
And then once you get to school at 7:30 a.m., you have your ginger tea.
Yes.
And then this is a typical day for you.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, does that sound all good? So now we're almost finished, and I would like to thank you for sharing your diet with me. As I review the education topic you were interested today was eating a balanced diet. Correct?
That's correct.
Correct. Is this something you're interested in talking about today still?
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna work together and create a SMART goal for the level of change you would like. And a SMART goal means it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So the most successful lifestyle change are when the goal you understand meets your level of motivation and your readiness to meet this goal. So do you think you are ready to make a SMART goal? Something that's...
I think so.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So something specific that you would want to focus on?
So I want to make sure that I incorporate more of the food groups into my meals, specifically like more vegetables, more whole grains.
Whole grains. And then around what time you would want this goal to be obtained?
I think I'd like to try it for a month.
About 1 month.
Yeah.
And is there anything else you would like to add to your SMART goal?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so your SMART goal that we made right now was that you want to incorporate more food groups, such as vegetables and whole grains, and you want to achieve it within a month.
Yes.
Within a month, okay. And then to get a better idea about how ready you are to make a change, I'm gonna give you, so on a scale from 0 to 10, how ready do you think you are to make this change? Or how confident do you feel?
I think, so 0 would be that I'm motivated or I'm not motivated.
So 0, you would be not motivated, and then 10, you are very motivated and confident and ready for this change.
I think I'm probably a 6.
You're more at a 6?
Yes.
Okay. So this means that you're, okay, and then how do you feel right now about how important this change is for you?
I think it's important for my health.
Okay. And then how, on a scale, again, from 0 to 10, how confident, how important do you think this change is for you?
I think it's probably a 7.
A 7. So you think it's more important?
Yeah.
Okay. And then how confident are you that you're going to make this change?
Probably a 6.
A 6. You're more confident. Okay. So, by being a 6 within the 6 and 7 range, you're still unsure, but you're kind of ready to start this change. And thank you again for answering this diet. And thank you for answering the questions about how ready you are. And I'm going to take a moment and provide you a little more information about your subject. Okay. So So this is your My Plate by the .gov,
Okay.
and it pretty much recommends that you eat every 4 hours. You avoid over portions. You make half of your plate fruits and vegetables. You limit eating out, and you make meals with at least 3 of these food groups, which is fruits, grains, vegetables, proteins, and dairy. And you mainly stick to water. So when you go out, or just in general, you can stick to water and limit sugary sweet beverages. That's what it recommends. And you limit solid fats, added sugars, and sodium. And so per day, it recommends about 2.5 cups, and that's like of every color, whether it's fresh, frozen, or canned. And 2 cups of fruit as well, and about 5 ounces of protein, and a variety of sources like poultry, fish, and meat, as well as grains and whole grains mainly, because that'll keep you full longer.
Okay.
That's what it suggests. And as well as dairy, if you do eat dairy, typically low fat or fat free. Depends on what your preference is. And you want to limit the amount of saturated fats as well, and things on high calories, like alcohol, high sugar.
I'm sorry, you said avoid alcohol?
No. It says limit.
Oh, okay.
So don't avoid it.
Okay.
My bad. Sorry, limit. So high sugary foods,
Okay.
high saturated fats. You want to limit that.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. And then, so these are just some examples of the greens. So everything in green is all the vegetables, and you can see they're different colors: red, dark greens, and oranges. That's mainly what you want to focus on.
Okay.
And some of the starches as well, like green beans, potatoes, all those kind of colors. And then proteins, so nuts, not just meat, if you don't like meat, but eggs, almonds, and then some whole grains down here.
Oh, okay. That's what I want.
You want whole grains?
I'm interested in having more
Whole grains.
more whole grains in my diet.
And then what kind of vegetables would you like to include more of?
I'm good with vegetables. I pretty much eat anything. I usually have salads. We have soup. We put in, zucchini, cabbage. I mean, I could probably incorporate some more.
You want to incorporate some more
variety, maybe.
More variety?
Just more variety.
Okay.
Making it more. I pretty much always stick to the same thing. As you can see, my breakfast is the same thing every day. So I could probably look at the list and try to find some recipes with more options.
Okay, you could take this with you, and
Okay.
maybe it would help you more incorporate these things. And then maybe some whole grains. What do you think you will want to incorporate? Some.
I like the brown rice, but I haven't been able to cook it well.
Brown rice. Okay.
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
That one usually lasts a pretty good while in the refrigerator.
And anything else? Just quinoa.
Like I said, I'm willing to try different stuff, so I'll just look at the list and maybe go through all the lists and try them all.
Okay. So after hearing this information, do you see any links to your own diet patterns?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
My plate typically doesn't look like this.
Yeah.
I usually don't have fruit with my meals. I think I need to possibly move that one up a little bit.
Okay. And you feel like that's important for you, incorporating more fruits?
Incorporating everything. I would actually like to reduce I don't want to go vegetarian, but I would like to reduce my meat protein. I'd like it to be a little bit more plant-based. But I mean, I'm not giving up meat 100%, just maybe lowering it a little bit. I am interested in maybe losing a little bit of weight, so adding more vegetables and some plant-based proteins I think would help that.
Okay. Sounds awesome. Would you like to make your SMART goal today?
Yes.
About that? And how would you like to change your SMART goal today compared to what we just did earlier?
Okay, so I think I would like to incorporate more, I'd like to incorporate all of those, what are they considered?
Dark
Categories?
categories? Yeah. So
I would like
food
to,
groups.
yeah, I would like to incorporate all the food groups in at least my dinner. Because I'm gonna say breakfast is probably, and lunch, since I'm in school, it's kind of hard. But at least one meal per day, where I incorporate all of the food groups and try to focus on making my protein more plant-based. I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know if that's too specific.
So let me read it to you again.
Okay.
So include more food groups in your dinner specifically.
Mm-hmm.
At least one meal per day you would like to include.
Mm-hmm.
More food groups.
All food groups.
All food groups. And then you would like, I didn't hear the last part. What was the last part?
Focus my proteins on more plant-based.
Focus your proteins on more plant-based.
And I'd like to do this for a month.
For about a month?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it all again to you out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you would like to include all food groups.
All food groups for at least one meal per day.
All food groups in your dinner, at least one meal per day, include all the food groups and focus mostly on your protein plant. You would like,
so I would like to incorporate all of the food groups in at least one meal per day for a month.
For about a month.
For about a month.
Okay.
And focus on making the protein more plant-based.
So you would like to include all food groups and at least one meal a day for about a month and focus more on the plant protein.
Yeah.
Plant protein.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you could read this for me, the last one, and then you can reword it or change it however.
Okay. So I would like to incorporate all food groups into at least one meal per day for at least a month, focusing and having my protein be mostly plant-based rather than animal protein. Yeah.
Okay. And then one last thing, how will you know that you met this goal?
That's a good question. How will I know? I guess I would just have to maybe keep a food journal and make sure that I'm staying on track. Yeah, I think that would just be my just keeping a food journal to make sure that I'm staying on track and keeping track of everything that I'm eating.
Okay. So thank you again for participating, and we made some SMART goals today, and hopefully you can execute them. And it was a pleasure talking to you and talking about your goals and your interests. and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.